Abortion was not a particularly huge issue in American politics until the Supreme Court, who under Donald Trump saw more conservative judges appointed, got rid of what was known as Roe v. Wade. What it meant was it was now down to the individual states to decide whether to allow abortion to happen or not. Overnight, it became a big political issue. That the Supreme Court in Arizona has voted by 4 votes to 2 to say there will now be a total ban on abortion with just a few exceptional circumstances, bringing it down from the previous 16-week period, suddenly becomes a massive political issue in what is a key swing state. Remember, Biden won this literally by a hair's breadth in 2020, Trump having won it in 2016. And whilst those Republicans who are pro-life and strong Christians believe in their position very strongly and very passionately, it is a minority view. Overall, about 60% of Arizonans are pro-choice. And this is a problem because the way American politics works, if you get enough signatures in a state, you can have what they call a ballot measure, effectively a state referendum. And I'll predict right now, there will be a state referendum, a ballot measure on November the 5th, the same day as the general election, which says this ruling must be overturned. And what that will do is increase the turnout of people who want to come and vote pro-choice, who will also vote Democrat at the same time. I think this has very big political implications. I think it's a major problem for Trump and his campaign. Well, I'm very pleased to be joined down the line by Liz Yore, international child's rights advocate, and as special counsel at Harpo Inc. for the last 5 years, has acted as Oprah Winfrey's child advocate on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Am I right in saying that abortion now becomes a major, major political issue in Arizona?
I think you're right, Nigel. I think it's absolutely going to be, now it's front and center, although I think it was the only issue that the Democrats have throughout the United States. And so this is going to be an issue in every state. Now it's going to be front and center. So, yes. I mean, I think it needs to play out. We need to see if there's going to be a ballot measure. Let's be honest, we have never, ever had a real thorough discussion, dialogue, debate about abortion. Millions and billions of dollars have been poured in by Planned Parenthood into political campaigns. The pro-life movement has been censored left and right. So it's going to play out here. And, I think it's an opportunity for, Trump is very articulate on this issue. I think his heart is really in the right place. This is the Democratic Party is the rabid, radical pro-death party. And
but that's okay, Liz. That's okay, Liz. And you speak clearly as somebody who's a passionate, pro-lifer. But you have to accept that once this issue becomes party politicized, rather than an issue of conscience, which it should be. I genuinely think this should be an issue of conscience. Many of these things ought not to be political footballs, but it is. Isn't the difficulty here that they will get that ballot measure? The Democrats will succeed in doing that. And this makes winning a key swing state much more difficult. My question to you is, why did the Supreme Court make this decision in Arizona at this time?
Well, I think that's a very interesting question. I don't think we know the whole entire answer on that. It was brought by an anti-abortion activist, and the timing probably is not the best. But let's roll up our sleeves, Nigel. Come on, you have been in battles where all the odds were against you. Let's have this battle. Let's all the pro-life organizations that have been, nipping at each other's heels forever. Let's get in there and fight. Let's have a thorough discussion about this issue. I'll put Donald Trump against Joe Biden anytime. He can't argue this issue. Joe Biden can't even walk up the stairs to Air Force One. Let's have this discussion. And let's bring out every single one of our voters who have been sitting on the sideline in many cases. Let's have this issue. We know that Hispanics are pro-life. We know that more and more blacks are coming to this issue when they've seen the massive genocide of African Americans as they place Planned Parenthood in the midst of every inner city. So let's not be afraid of this fight. Yes.
No. I mean, the word genocide is not always helpful in these contexts, but even Donald Trump today is rowing back a little bit, isn't he? I mean, Trump today is saying that Arizona's ruling went too far and needs to be straightened out. And here's the problem, Liz. People like you who are pro-life are very, very passionate on this subject. You're in a minority. It may be, if you have a big debate, you can become the majority. But it does put you, I argue, electorally, ahead of November the 5th, in a tough position.
It does, but I'm not afraid of a fight. I was weaned on Chicago political machine politics, where Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, David Axelrod came from. And I think, for some reason, this is fortuitous. It may be behind the scenes machinations by the Democrats. I don't know. But let's look at this with, it was interesting. Mother Teresa was asked by Hillary Clinton. And Hillary Clinton said, Mother Teresa, why don't we have a woman president? And what did Mother Teresa say? She said, probably because she was aborted. And,
wow.
I mean, she was fearless. And, Donald Trump has not backed down on any fight. And I'm calling on Arizona citizens to not back down. That the most important thing for pro-life is that Donald Trump be elected. He is absolutely protecting the unborn. The appointments to the Supreme Court were essential. And we're going to continue to move forward. Nigel, the younger generation is more and more pro-life. That's the good news.
Liz, one thing for certain, one thing for absolute certain is you are going to get your chance between now and November the 5th to have this argument, to have this debate, because it's suddenly become a big election issue. And from Joe Biden's perspective, he'd rather discuss this than the border, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would. The border, which brings in, is frankly a life issue, too, because we see massive human trafficking, massive deaths by fentanyl, massive abuse of children. I mean, this is absolutely, a life issue. So I say bring it on. And my message to the pro-life groups is to be strategic, to work together. And to really, let's be political. Let's get our political hats on and fight this fight. You
can fight this fight, but I just sense, Liz, you may find Donald Trump is not actually quite with you. And even Carrie Lake today, who's standing for Senate in Arizona, is backtracking on this. Listen, thank you for giving us your strong pro-life position. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Nigel.
Well, folks, there you have it. In America, that pro-life view that is held by Republicans, many Republicans, is very strong, very passionate, really quite absolute. But I repeat the points I made to Liz there. They are, at the moment, minority opinions. And I tell you what, Donald Trump absolutely knows it.